Thank you. Thank you. I think that is closer to what I was expecting. The gentleman at the back is quite a smart Nigerian. I'll start with a joke, and some of us have heard it, that Bill Gates was trying to recruit two co-MDs, and he was eliminating them. And then, there will be questions, there will be things to do, and things like that. And then at a point, there were 4 of them left. And there was the final, when you get to that stage of interview at executive level, obviously you need to prove that you know your onions. It's not theoretical. The last, the 2 were disqualified, and the last 2, they said, well, you have to understand certain language, and you need to communicate it to each other. So there were 2 guys in the room, and they looked at each other. One said, "Wala, wow." The other said, "Ogaju," and they hugged each other. So if you don't speak Yoruba, one said, there's trouble, I'm in trouble. And the other one said, "Now, wow," something like that. You say, "Ogaju," and they hugged each other. The reason I'm sharing these stories is that Nigerians, we are very resilient. Anywhere in the world, if Nigerians go to interview, ask them anything, they will give you an answer. Anywhere, from Nigeria to China to Australia. I remember my very first job in the UK. I've not done my driving test, and they said, "Can you drive?" I said, "Yes." And the guy said, "Okay, you're going to have a company car, blah, blah, blah." And it was somewhere in Slough. I lived in Streatham. And basically, you had to just make it up. And I had to do intensive driving lesson. And, unusually, I passed at the first time. And I'm also a Nigerian. So just in case you are doubting. The reason I'm telling you this is that, just like that my sister said, AI is built on, AI mimics the human brain, and AI hallucinates. So if you ask any large language model something that it doesn't know because of the conversational flow that it's been designed to do, it will give you an answer. So if you ask, who is the grandfather of Mongo Park? Probably doesn't know. Probably knows that. You say, okay, who is the grandfather of Amadioha? Come up with something. It's called hallucination. And I challenge all of you here to go to an interview where you're going to go to the interview and your salary amount is 1 billion naira. And you've gone through 4 stages. You're in the final stage. And the interviewer asks you a question. You don't know the answer, but are you going to keep quiet? You will give an answer. So that's what AI does, large language model. So the conversational ones, it will give you an answer because that's the way it's been sort of wired. But also, when you think of the way we are wired in Nigeria and everywhere in the world, if you are hiring someone who is the head of risk management and the guy comes in what we call knickerbocker t-shirt, chewing gum, wearing slides with socks and just slide in, literally, pardon the pun. But, you as the interviewer, in your head, the person has lost the job, right? But that person might be the best person. When you are interacting with AI language models, you find that there are biases. We call it bias. And those biases are built by those that have a lived culture. So someone in San Francisco, someone in China somewhere who's built DeepSeek, someone in whichever part of the world. We are a product of the way we've been brought up. So if I come into this room, it's an AI conference, and I see somebody who's dressed in a certain way, I expect that because it's a technology event, there are certain nuances of dressing, and because this is Nigeria. So I'm just explaining and taking us ready for what I'm going to share. AI is not juju. AI is not magical. AI is not special. AI is a product of humans, and we need to understand that. So today, I want to take you on a journey, and just to let you know, I've been in AI since 2014. I've been in technology since 99. Immediately I finished my NYC. We didn't call it JAPA then. It was Andrew checking out. I went somewhere. But in the last few years, I've been firmly on the ground. And the reason is that, believe it or not, this is one of the best countries in the world because there are so many opportunities. It might sound like I'm talking rubbish, but when you've been in two places, you understand. There's a Yoruba proverb that a woman that says the husband's house is not good, let her go and try the other side. So I know what I'm talking about. So it's a great privilege to be here, and I've been given a task to talk about national AI readiness, bridging talent, infrastructure, and governance for Nigerian AI future. So we have a bit of background in this AI in Nigeria because in the last 2 years, well, it's not last 2 years, yeah, 24 and 25, we've done the Nigeria AI Landscape Report. That report is the only AI report in Nigeria so far. More will come, but for now, it's the only one. And that makes us to engage with the ecosystem. So when we say ecosystem, the policymaker, the regulators, the enthusiasts, the builders, the developers, the civil society, researchers, academic students, we deal with everyone. And like I said at the beginning, I go to a lot of this because we are very driven to adapt AI for Nigeria. And in the past, we've had technologies that we are saying who had to, but does it solve our peculiar problems? And that's the main thing. So for me, what I want to take you through today is just basically looking through in terms of what it means to be able to actually evolve in those three areas and where are we standing as Nigeria. So first and foremost, I think there have been eras of AI. So I'll ask one more question before I'll ask a few questions now and again. Who knows the first time that the mention of AI was anywhere? When was the first time that there was an incidence or prevalence of AI? And part B of that question is, when was that word coined? Does anyone here knows? The man in the cap. You're a bit close. Okay. One more trial, one more attempt. Anybody who knows? I'm sure there are a few students here. Okay. We are having two different extremes. You know? You don't know, and you confess. Thank you. It's good to, to meet truthful Nigerians. When I ask people this question, and I have fun asking this question because naturally I like to have fun. So when I ask this question, most people say, oh, Shebi ChatGPT started in 2022. Yeah, it was 2022, and I laugh. But the reality was the first instance was in 1930, where the first record of AI happened. And then you had the code breakers, and they had you had that conference in the US where the academics got together in 1963, I think. And that was when the word was coined. Artificial intelligence, it's not new. And when you think about, how many of us know about code breakers? Code breakers, at Bletchley, they were very pivotal to the ending the Second World War. So you heard about Alan Turing, right? So he was sort of quite active within that network. And basically, machine learning, which is a part of AI, was part of the things that helped to sort of break the code of the Germans to end the Second World War.